Hello, fabulous superstar Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of May 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Wow, it is a jam-packed month, without a doubt. In fact, I think May may just be the most important celestial month of the year. It starts right out of the gate. Pluto goes retrograde in fellow air sign Aquarius. Now, this is a part of the sky for you that has to do with understanding your place in the world. Everything from long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, legal matters, as well as the political and philosophical beliefs, the spiritual beliefs that guide your life. Well, whenever Pluto changes directions, its energies are that much more heightened. There's an intensity here of conviction, but also of where it is that perhaps some of that dedication, some of that focus might be misplaced. And so for you, it may be now that you're really needing to pour yourself or think over or reconsider a legal matter, an issue having to do with an institute of higher learning, whether you're a student or you work there, an issue having to do with immigration or citizenship. But of course, personally as well, this can be a time when you get really riled up about what it is that you believe, almost like burning bridges with people who maybe aren't on the same page. Now, it's always up to you to decide what's right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. There may be real instances there that present a deal breaker to you, and that's going to be up to you to decide how to navigate. But with Pluto stationary, it is always a game changer in some way. Now, on the 5th, we are going to have a lunar eclipse. This will bring eclipse season to an end. This is a very powerful eclipse taking place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your daily life. And so this eclipse is across the sky from Uranus and a retrograde Mercury. Both Uranus, Mercury in the sign just before yours, having to do with what you're not aware of. Energy like this says very quickly you become aware, and it changes so much for you very quickly in a very practical, lived way. That lunar eclipse can bring with it surprise, dramatic closures, but ultimately they do help align you with what a higher, more loving vision for your life could be. That is always the higher intention of any given eclipse. I think one of the most likely scenarios is that a client, a customer, or a coworker quits or leaves your workspace, perhaps rather dramatically with flair, or in some way decides that they are no longer to be in the same space, or maybe it is that they have a certain reaction or moment that takes you by surprise, and you may feel that it needs to be addressed in some way. It may or may not have anything directly to do with you. Outside of that, this could be your tasks changing very quickly, the work that you're doing, you having the realization that the expectation versus the reality are two very different things. Regardless of what it is, again, it seems to come up out of nowhere. But you're able to understand, you're able to find your way forward to figure out where you are right now and where the next place is supposed to be for you. I would be remiss if I didn't say, for a very small percentage of Geminis out there, it's possible now that events take place in your work that dramatically change your role. It could be that you end up switching offices, you end up switching departments, but it's also possible you may end up leaving a particular work situation to go a whole other way. Again, it is part of a higher, more loving vision for your life. Now, as we navigate forward, a lot of focus starts being spent on that sign just before yours, a part of the sky for you that has to do with what's taking place on levels of soul and psyche and spirit. This is about what's happening underneath the surface, and there's going to be a lot stirring within you. A lot of things can be worked out in the dream space. You may just feel like you need a whole lot more rest. You really want to honor that. It's also very imperative with this energy that you take the best of care of you. Karma, karmic blessings, and karmic closures are going to be highlighted in a big way. It's like there is a new chapter That's going to be a year in the making, and you are jumping in fully right away. So this happens because as we get to the middle of the month, one after the other, we have big celestial events taking place. So on the 15th, it is Mercury going direct here. It is on the 16th that Jupiter will enter this part of the sky for a 1 year stay. As we navigate forward, it is going to be Pluto and then Mars and the nodes setting up what is called a grand fixed cross. This is a major configuration of tension, frustration, but also motivation as well. We are determined for our lives to be different. And in the midst of all of this, on the 19th, we have a new moon in the sign just before yours. So all of this adds up to a lot stirring within you now. The fact that we've got that Jupiter representing karmic blessings, but also fortunate closures, you really want to trust that. On the one hand, we are going to have Pluto in that worldly part of your sky. We're also going to have Mars moving into a part of the sky for you that has to do with contracts, negotiations, agreements. And all of this is happening just as Mercury goes direct. Your ruling planet goes direct as well. This does suggest that this could be a moment where some agreement is reached, again, a legal matter, higher education matter. You finally know what paperwork needs to be um, submitted in order for you to make the kind of advancement that you want, in order for you to put a difficult situation behind you. That's what I'm seeing here. The most likely scenario here is that through being diligent and responsible, understanding the systems and the structures and the protocols and the documents and the conversations that need to be had, fortunate closures can transpire now. You may need to confront or address some of your own fears or insecurities or uncertainty, but that really is the point. That's the spiritual point of any tension you may feel now to help you to excel through this time. Now, where it comes to matters of love, keep in mind that for the first week of this month, Venus is still in your sign, meaning that you are a magnet. You are downright irresistible. You want to take advantage of that. But it is going to be next month in June that we will have a very powerful full moon in your opposite sign, a very important moment in love for the year for the Geminis out there. I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way. But understand that in many ways you are on a journey now. After we move past that first week of this month, Venus will move into a part of the sky where love and self love become intimately tied for you now. I would also add in the first week of the month, Venus is doing some interesting things under the light of the eclipse, speaking in a conversation of tension with Neptune, but also in harmony with Jupiter. And so I feel like there are moments here of doubt and uncertainty, but also of real understanding, attraction, and connection. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, yes, you may be looking at some feelings of uncertainty or disappointments that took place for you in the past, but I feel like there's going to be some moment where someone kind of pops up, shows up, is attracted to you. It may take place in a social situation with a friend or through a friend, but it's just what you need to kind of snap out of your past disappointments. It is going to be this moment that ultimately invites you to open yourself to love by rooting yourself in self love. That's going to be the big lesson for you as you navigate further into the month. Those of you just starting to date someone, what a remarkable time this can be. In the context of dating, I think Venus, the first days of this month, well, there is this little bit of a dip, right? That disappointment before a friend or a conversation with a friend sort of sets you right. You're able to understand what you're really feeling and what you're really wanting. Where it is that this is someone you want to navigate forward with, well, that'll be made clear to you and you'll understand how to empower those steps forward. But it is possible that some of this energy of disappointment in the first days of this month, well, it may be a little bit too much, and your empowerment comes by deciding you're going in a different direction. And for those of you in an established bond, what a remarkable time this can be. In the context of established bonds, I love how we are moving in this direction of helping you to understand the give and take of love, especially once we move past the first week of this month. Before we get there, though, that energy of disappointment that might be there, well, that can sometimes be something of little consequence. Plans change, for example, but it could be something that also feels more consequential. For all that, though, where it is you're really able to relate to your partner on a level of friendship, you can find an understanding. And in those very rare instances out there, if you felt for a while that maybe you're not in the right relationship for you, well, considering Jupiter moving into a part of the sky for you that has to do with karmic blessings and karmic closures, well, a part of that may be showing up in your relationship if that feels right for you now. What I love about this week for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. Wow, what an incredible time it is. There's so much that's so special here. I am going to say, look, the power, the intensity takes place in the sign just before yours. This is about what's happening on levels of soul and psyche and spirit. A lot of what could be tense or frustrating can be resolved if you get enough rest. That's going to be really important for you now. Making sure that you get enough rest, that you're taking the best of care of you, is your pathway forward towards making the most of a month where your blessings shift. Fortunate closures, but also exciting blessings that just can show up for you now. Thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership Rate at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. As a superstar, you get expanded, exclusive video scopes, access to exclusive live events, and higher tiers get you things like access to Synchronicity University classes, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. I look forward to meeting you there.